take me on a treasure hunt. I long for something new.
Hello everyone, welcome back. So I thought I'd do something a bit different this week. I have just purchased a new camera and I've not taken it out for a landscape photography trip yet. So I thought I'd take you with me. But don't worry, it's not going to be too nerdy or geeky, it's just going to be my view. I'm trying to figure out whether I made the right choice or not. So I guess over the last 18 months, 2 years, there's been a lot of new cameras out. So new Sony's, Fujifilms, new Canon, new Nikon. And I've kind of been watching the market for a while and I made a choice. So maybe some money was burning a hole in my pocket, but I made a choice. Did I make the right one? I'm going to bring you with me. So finally made the move from a DSLR to a mirrorless camera, and I've decided to stay with Nikon for a number of reasons. For 200 quid you get the adapter with the new camera and you can use all of your old lenses. So that's one of the reasons. So the shutter speed on this new camera is insane. In silent mode you can't even hear it firing, to be honest. It's just and off it goes. I think I counted 20 shots before the buffer fills up. So that's 20 times, I think the file size is about 50 megabits. So 50 megabytes, sorry. So 20 times 50 megabytes straight into the card slot. So, and talking of card slots, so yes, there is only one, and a lot of the professionals, a lot of the big YouTube stars made a hell of a thing about, oh, it's only got one card slot. But I just realized that I've been using my Nikon D750 for years with 2 card slots, but the second card slot was only ever used when the first one got full, so I've only been working with one anyway. And the cost of these QXD cards is so expensive. Surely they're not going to go wrong. So I don't really care about that, to be honest. So I've had the camera about a week now. I tried it, so it was a competition for some nature shots. So I stuck a 200-500mm f4 lens on it, and I've been sneaking around trying to take pictures of foxes. In fact, somewhat successfully, and I'll show you one of my shots here.
It comes later, dear, for many of us. I promise you that we learn through the wrongs, and even the rough can be sweet.
So, as far as wildlife photography is concerned, it was cracking. It was so quiet. So the Nikon D750, you would sit in a spot until a fox came close to you, and then as soon as you pressed that shutter, it heard it and ran off. But because this one's so silent, I was just firing away. And yeah, it was absolutely perfect. So, but I've never used it for landscape photography, so that's what I've come for this evening. I've just come down to Clevedon, and I'm going to take shots of the pier. So it's probably about 7 o'clock now, so in a couple of hours time the sun will go down. We've got some cracking clouds and the sun is shining, so fingers crossed. So I want to take some shots of the pier in the sun. I want to take some shots hopefully when it's getting a little bit darker and we've got a bit of a sunset going on, and then I'm going to hang around till it's slightly darker, just to check the dynamic range of the camera and see what it's like when it's, you know, when it's bright and when it's dark. So off we go. So quite rightly the pier's closed, but that's not an issue anyway, because you don't actually want to be on the pier to take a shot. You would need to be, well, I'm torn actually. I don't know whether to be on the beach because there's a number of photographers down there already, or slightly higher up with a longer lens. So I'm going to try both of those.
Just close your eyes and know beauty lives in me. I know I don't yet know it, so I trust you when you say that beauty lives in me too.
So straight out of the box, the camera looks a lot smaller, it's more compact, it certainly fits well in the hand. It's a hell of a lot lighter than the D750, that's for sure. But the first problem I find is when you put the lens adapter on, and then you try to put the L bracket on, or my old L bracket anyway, it doesn't actually fit because the adapter catches on the front of the bracket and therefore it won't fit on the bottom of the camera. However, obviously Nikon have thought about this and they've put an additional hole at the bottom of the adapter, so your L bracket can fit on there. And in fact what I found was it's a lot easier, because when it's on there you've still got access to all of the cable slots, your camera slots, and your memory card. So in effect it's not a problem at all, because it's actually a better design. I guess when you take that off, so when I can afford to have the new Z lenses, then obviously the L bracket will go back on the camera body, and job solved.
Boys don't cry under the influence. You and I did not make a sense.
So one of the advantages of this camera over the D750 is the focusing. So on that camera you press the shutter button halfway down and that was where you focused, but on this one you can do it with your finger.
You're putting on a fence. Boys don't cry. Boys don't cry. Endless game. When's it gonna end? We were more than friends. Boys don't cry. Boys don't cry. Look ahead, somewhere down the line, words unsaid. Will they undermine? Dry your eyes. Everything's just fine. Boys don't cry. Boys don't cry. Wearing thin. Is it just for show? Where you been? I don't wanna know. You say hi when you're leaning low. Boys don't cry. Boys don't cry.
So one of the things I love about the new camera is the EVF, or the electronic viewfinder. So when you look through it, you're actually seeing the image that you're going to take, and you can see where there are any highlights or dark spots, and you can make adjustment right there in the field. And when you take that back into Lightroom and Photoshop, you can see, because there's very little to do as far as knocking the highlights down, bringing the shadows up, which is one of the very first things I did on the D750. So it must have a better dynamic range. And that definitely shows.
When you came over, my heart was on its way out. I wasn't sober, and I was thinking out loud.
So after all that then, did I do the right thing? Well, I guess I've spent the money now, haven't I? So I'm slightly biased, but no, seriously, I think it's brilliant. So I was not going to make a move into mirrorless at all. I was probably going to move into medium format. So I've made the jump now. I love it. The camera seems so much better in the hand. It seems, this might seem ridiculous, but it seems to take better photographs. It's got deeper set of colours. The dynamic range is higher, the number of megapixels is higher, the shooting rate is great. So that blew me away, actually, that one. Yeah, love it, recommend it.
You lay beside me, you held my hand in the dark.
So something a bit different from me this week. Please let me know if you like this style format, if you absolutely hate it and just want me to go back to doing what I was doing. And if you did like it, please remember to give me a comment, thumbs up, or please subscribe. See you next time.
So close to me, love.